Hello everyone, thanks so much for all the support with all of my videos. I'm very grateful. The scandals just keep rolling on in Ireland. You just can't keep up with this relentless scandal in Irish political life. The latest is Owen Hayes. Owen Hayes is a Social Democrat TD and he has just been suspended from the Social Democrat Party. Now Owen Hayes has only been recently elected as a TD for Dublin Bay South, the same constituency that I myself ran for recently. And he was only recently elected back in June as a Dublin City Councillor. But Hayes has been suspended from the parliamentary party following a series of revelations about his shareholdings. Now, Owen Hayes has been very much vocal, along with the Social Democratic Party, around the issues in Gaza, calling for sanctions, calling for the Occupied Territories Bill to be passed, and very stern in the criticism of the Israeli regime. Now it's been discovered that Owen Hayes himself has been profiting from the same Israeli regime that's carrying out those horrific acts on the people of Gaza. Now Hayes was a worker with a company called Palantir, a software company based in the US. We have offices also, coincidentally opened offices in Tel Aviv a number of years ago too. He was involved in the software company and he left them in 2017, and part of his termination package was to get shares in the company. Now it's been discovered that he has recently sold those shares for nearly €200,000, profiting from the absolutely horrific abuses that are taking place by the IDF in Gaza and in the West Bank, and we see what's happening currently in terms of Syria, where the Israelis are making huge incursions into that sovereign country. But of course, that's not being mentioned by the media because Owen Hayes himself has benefited hugely from this. But of course, it's the hypocrisy of Hayes, and not to mention the lying of Owen Hayes, because when he made a declaration of interests back in June when he became a councillor, he said he had divested of those shares. Now it came to light following a 30-minute press conference yesterday with the Social Democratic Party that it discovered that he only sold those shares in July. Now, if you hark back to October the 7th, 2023, and he has been in receipt of those shares and holding those shares for a significant period of time, never declared his interest in that company, never declared how much he was profiting from it. And of course, he just sold those shares when he just became Dublin City Councillor. He denied this, I think about 20, maybe 25 times yesterday during the period he was questioned by a number of journalists outside Dáil Éireann. But of course, he came out with a statement a number of hours later to say that he was incorrect in the details he presented to the press around his shareholding. And he said he divested those shares in July of this year. So if you think about it, he's been profiting from the misery that's been wreaked down upon the people of Palestine, and the hypocrisy of his position of standing up on one side to say he's looking for the sanctions, looking for end to the genocide, and looking to stand up against the horrific abuses being carried out, and on the other side he's profiting from it. You couldn't really make this up. Now Hayes has been suspended from the Social Democrat Party. Initially they all rallied behind him because this is a party that claims they're interested in transparency, truth, which nothing could be further from the truth when you look at the response of this party to Owen Hayes. Did they actually try and vet their candidates and have a look at what sort of candidates' backgrounds were in terms of who they were profiting from? And not to mention making huge money in these shareholdings. But this is how Irish society works, and the political life in particular. There's no accountability. So many people in the Dublin Bay South constituency, I'm almost certain, would have voted for Hayes and his party on the basis of their position on what's going on internationally. And of course, this is a betrayal of those people who voted for Hayes. And I'm sure he was a recipient of many, many transfers from many people. So, for me, he should hold his hands up. He should resign his seat. But of course, he won't resign his seat. And this shows you the huge amount of democratic deficit we have, where there's no automatic point of recall for public officials. This is a basic in any democracy, really, to have recall for any politicians who stand on a platform and absolutely are profiting from it. Never mind before he's even sat a day in Dáil Éireann. It shows they're completely just self-serving, self-interested, self-preserving people that are more interested in their own power and privilege rather than serving the interests of ordinary people. It's absolutely just remarkable. But it shows you how Irish political life works and how the establishment works in Irish society. Hayes said he would sit on the independent benches for a number of weeks with his all sits from next week. And who knows, maybe he'll be making a call to Micheál Martin to maybe prop up his government and join a gallery of other so-called independents who are more interested in propping up the status quo to maybe embolden his own privilege. But of course, if he sits there for a number of years, 4 or 5 years, holds on to his payment, and will probably perhaps move back into the private sector where currently he works and is making money from as well. So it's just absolutely just appalling what's going on. Should resign the seat, should put it back to the people of Dublin Bay South. But of course he probably won't, because he'll just bury his head in the sand, get his salary and move on and profit from the shareholding, profit from his salary, and try and claim he's standing up for the interests of people. It's just a complete and utter circus, the Irish political landscape. It shows you where is the genuine candidates, the people who are interested in truth, the people who are interested in transparency, in accountability. They're only words in the dictionary in Irish political life. We need to radically change things for the better in Irish society. Thanks for all the support with my videos. Please press subscribe to my YouTube channel also. Take care. Slán.